Good morning. It is a beautiful day in early September in Georgia. We have an unexpected day off today. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I chose to buy this Yanmar SA325 instead of buying a skid steer. We bought our property 5 years ago. Since then, we spent thousands of dollars renting equipment, excavators and skid steers. I've also borrowed my brother's Kubota L39 a bunch of times. I wish I had all that money back. I wish I would have just bought something, even this small tractor 5 years ago, and I would have had the thousands of dollars I spent, I could have just put into the tractor, my own tractor. Most recently, I've been looking at older skid steers, used like 1995 to maybe a 2010. I wanted something without all the electronics and without all the computer controlled stuff. I wanted something with no emissions, like no DPF and no DEF. The problem with buying older equipment, you don't know how it was maintained. This thing is brand new. It had 2 hours on it when it was delivered a week ago. So I'm gonna do all the proper maintenance, or the dealer will. So I'm gonna know how this thing was maintained. You know, if I buy an older skid steer, I don't know how it was maintained. And I don't trust the hour meters. A lot of them say they've only got 1,100 hours on it and it's 25 years old. How do I know that hour meter has not been replaced a bunch of times? Another thing as far as the maintenance, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I am not a mechanic. I am a mediocre parts changer at best. I enjoy working on things and figuring things out, but I'm not a good mechanic. So if I end up getting an older machine, I'm probably gonna have to put it in the shop at some point and let a professional figure certain things out. If you buy an older machine, like I was looking for one with a Kubota engine, usually Bobcat brand with a Kubota engine. So the engine could be rock solid. But what about all the hydraulics and the cylinders and the hoses? I've learned from my brother's Kubota L39, it's a 2005, I think. It's got like 1,700 hours or 1,800 hours. The engine is great, very dependable. But naturally, I mean, older equipment, they start to nickel and dime you. You know, you get this cylinder fixed because it's leaking and now the other one's leaking. And you get this hydraulic hose replaced and now that one's leaking. You know, it's just a constant burden. It's just what equipment does. So this thing being brand new, I should have hopefully several years that I don't have to touch or fix anything unless I do something stupid and rip a hydraulic line off, which I could very well do. I've got a grapple for this machine and I have ripped hydraulic lines off before. But hopefully I'm gonna get several years out of this machine with no hydraulic leaks and no issues where you're gonna deal with that with an older machine. Now let's talk about like price and financing, as my arm is getting really tired from holding this phone. I was generally looking in the $15,000 to $25,000 range for skid steers. The problem with buying a used machine like that, I think a lot of people are gonna want you to come in there with cash or a cashier's check. I don't have that kind of money sitting in the bank. I need financing. So can you even get financed on a machine that is 15 or 20 years old or older? Maybe, I mean, I have good credit. I could probably go get a signature loan, but I would probably pay a ridiculous interest rate. And then dealing with a customer or a person selling the machine, you know, hey, I'm serious. I'm coming to look at it. And then I look at it and I'm like, I love it. Let me go try to get financing. People, I don't think right now in August of 2022, machines are kind of hard to come by, equipment is, and they sell pretty quick. So I don't think people are gonna want to waste their time with me when they got 5 other guys standing in there in line with a pocket full of cash. Well, this machine here, I got some pretty decent financing on it, and I bought this thing sight unseen. I mean, I watched a bunch of videos on it. I never even went to the dealership. I applied for financing online, and they delivered it to my house. I mean, it was simple. Let's talk about fuel consumption. On the skid steers, I was looking at some bigger ones, 70 horsepower, 73 horsepower, or 80 whatever horsepower. I think they were 80. Anyway, something like that is going to drink a lot more fuel than this thing. This is 23.9 horsepower. I've put 8 hours on it now, and I've used like half a tank of fuel. So we'll see in the coming months and year. I'll probably make some videos about how the fuel consumption is. But so while the skid steer, it's going to be more powerful, and it's going to maybe take less time to do certain projects, I think it's going to drink a lot more fuel. And our country is in a bad place right now, and fuel prices are up. So this thing's going to be a lot cheaper, I think, to run. It may take me a little bit longer to do certain things, but maybe not. I think once I learn how this machine operates and its limitations, I think I'll get really efficient with this, and it won't be a big deal. This thing is brand new. It had 2 hours when they delivered it, and it has a 10-year powertrain warranty on it. So 10-year, 3,000-hour powertrain warranty. It also has a 2-year, 2,000-hour full warranty. I keep calling it bumper to bumper, but so hopefully at least for the first 2 years, 2,000 hours, I'm just going to get on this thing and turn the key and just be productive. I also bought a grapple, by the way. I got a grapple for this thing. I'm not really going over too many details because I did that in another video. So I wanted a machine that I can just sit on and start working. I did not want to have to, like my dump truck, you know, I got a bunch of dump truck videos, and it runs, it dumps, but it's like you have to constantly work and tinker on it. And while I enjoy that, I need to be productive. My property is looking terrible. Been living here 5 years, and I've barely gotten anything done with it. The last thing that I can think of at the moment to wrap up this video is towing this machine somewhere. Now, I don't plan to use this in any kind of commercial way or to make money other than just working on my property. But let's say I want to take it to my brother's house, my mom's house, or I want to take it to the dealership to have something done. I can tow this machine with my little half-ton pickup right here. This tractor only weighs about 1,800 pounds, somewhere around there. So I know that some of the skid steers, the smaller ones, they are only like maybe 6,000 or 7,000 pounds. But of course, looking at skid steers, like if I'm gonna get one, let's just get one. Let's get a big one. And I'm looking at the bigger ones that are like 70 and 80 horsepower. And then I start looking at those and I'm like, oh, let's get one with tracks on it. So then you're looking at, what are those, like 10, 11, 12,000 pounds. You know, I don't have a 3/4 ton. I don't have a 1 ton, a dually. Of course, I got my dump truck, but it's not towing anything right now. Everything just kind of lined up for me and pointed towards getting this new, smaller Yanmar tractor. This was really like a last minute, spur of the moment, whatever purchase. I had not been looking at Yanmar at all. And maybe like a couple weeks before I bought this, they showed up on YouTube or Facebook or something. I guess my phone's been listening to me. But it showed up in my feed somewhere, and I just started really looking at them. And I'm just sick of waiting on machines. I've been looking for equipment, really looking like at skid steers for 2 years. Just kept waiting and hesitating and putting it off. And my advice to you, if you've got some property, you're thinking about getting a machine, some kind of piece of equipment, a tractor, skid steer, whatever, do it. Just do it. You'll figure out how to pay for it later, right? That's the way it goes. I mean, I should have bought this thing years ago. I love having it. I got so many big plans for my property now, and I hate that I waited so long to get it. If you made it this far in my video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.